Welcome everybody to Super Gamecast Bros for 11/4/2018. I'm your host, Tad Risen, and to my right, the teach himself, Kyle Risen. How are you, buddy? We haven't done this in a minute. I've been dealing with that cancer thing.
It's been a while, man. Doing well.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Doing well. Good. I'm super excited to be here. We got a lot of cool things that we actually just want to talk about. There hasn't been like a lot of crazy news because there's a lot of cool games coming out right now, like Red Dead.
Actually, there is a piece of news. Well, I'll save it for later. Here, but there is a piece of news that I read that we don't have on here that I just thought of.
Oh, sweet. Well, let's get some of the like housekeeping stuff out of the way, and we'll
got it.
So remember, everybody, you can just send up front and out of the way. If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/superbros, or you can even just follow us on facebook.com/super Gamecast Bros to keep up with all our posts. Sometimes we even reach out for just comments and ideas for things that we're doing. We're doing another shoot today. So some bro ranting, some topics that you guys gave us on Facebook. And feel free also to share ideas or even things like that at our email that we officially have set up at gamecast@superbros.org. And remember, hit the like, share, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube if you're watching us there. So typically we go into what we've been playing, but what do you got? What do you have, Kyle?
Okay, so a couple days ago, I saw an article about a new show that is going to be on Netflix that is based off of the Witcher series.
Oh, yeah, with Henry Cavill, Superman. He looks terrible.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing weird.
A wig.
Yeah.
So here's the thing I do like about that, is that apparently Henry Cavill is a huge Witcher fan.
Really?
Yes. So apparently he's a huge WoW fan too, and he was late. He was late to his audition for Superman because he was. I think him and his wife were playing WoW. No joke. And apparently he tweeted out when the rumor came out that there was going to be a Witcher Netflix series, and then there was the fan trailer with who's the actor who's doing Death Stranding? Not
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yes, they did the fan trailer with Mads Mikkelsen, and he looked like to a T.
Yes, he did.
And I was very disappointed, even though Henry Cavill is a good actor. Even though I don't like Superman. He's just other things that he's done very well.
He's good as Superman, though.
He looks like Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Like straight up looks like Clark Kent. But he has more love for the franchise. Apparently he reads the books, he plays the games. Like,
wow.
He's very involved. And then when that came out, he had thrown a tweet to Netflix saying like, "Hey, if you haven't signed up, please consider me," or something like that. So I think it will be good because he's a fan.
Yes.
That picture though, I saw a picture and I was just like, man, this was for like a big budget show. This was thrown together. But he'll do well. He's a good actor.
The article I read even was like comparing. They're like, oh, look how good Henry Cavill looks, and they have him and the guy from Witcher 3.
I think you pronounce it Geralt. I think.
I don't know. And God, that you couldn't have gotten like two people that look so unsimilar.
Yeah, they should have got somebody that had kind of like that Northern Europe, like ethnicity background. Not that makes a better actor, but like they would have looked.
I'm sure it's going to be an awesome
like Mads Mikkelsen looked like him. I mean, it was spot on, and he even had like the scars, and I think that's what he's missing too. He's missing the beard and the scars.
He's missing the scar.
If he had that, I think it would have been better.
Yep.
Actually, and it's weird too because he's a young guy, so seeing with the gray hair was kind of not that's an issue. I'm actually, now that my hair's coming back in, I think I'm all gray.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think chemo shocked my body.
It's not just like blonde.
It could be. I don't know. We'll have to wait. I have some gray on my arms now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm getting gray.
It's because you're an old man.
Hair. Yeah.
You're an old man. Kyle, what have you been playing? Because my playing is going to lead into our next little topic here.
So since our last show, I've played a lot.
Okay.
I played all of Spider-Man. I'm missing like one trophy. That I'm just
because then it's going to unlock the platinum trophy.
Yes, 2 trophies.
Friend.
played all the DLC that has come out so far. I played Resident Evil 1.
How is the DLC, by the way?
It's good. I wasn't sure. Like, I thought, because it involves Black Cat. So I thought it was just going to be like a short thing about Black Cat. It's actually it looks like every DLC is going to lead up into the next one.
Like the next game?
Into the next DLC. So like this first one was
That's
called
cool.
The Heist. It was actually called like Episode 1, The Heist.
Oh, that's cool.
And then at the end, it says to be continued or something.
I'm totally okay. I actually like. I know some people kind of. It doesn't work for every game, but I actually like episodic gaming.
Yep.
Because I actually feel like it allows me to play other games. I have a hard time bouncing because sometimes when I'm like, oh, I really want to play this game, I'll do one of two things. I'll either play the new game only for like a half hour and then drop it and go back, or I really liked it that much that I drop what I was playing and never go back to the game I was playing. And that's the crime of being me, unfortunately.
I played the HD remake of Resident Evil 1,
which is the same. Here's what's funny about this. So it's a
HD
remake remaster
yes,
because the remake was on GameCube, and then they just took that port or that remake, re-resed it, and then put it on current gen.
I mean,
which is silly.
It's good. I enjoy it.
Is it like the PS1 game? Because I own it, but I haven't played it.
I feel like because I have played the original PS1.
I didn't finish it, but I've played it.
I feel like it handles a lot better. I like. I love the controls better than the original, but I still can't.
The stop, point, aim, shoot. I hate the loot is referred to as tank controls. I hate them. I hate them so much. But one of the games on our PlayStation list that we're going to talk about a little later is like heavily tank controlled. But it was just such a wonky story. But
the one thing that I don't like about the early Resident Evil games is when you have to save on the typewriters.
Oh. Yeah. Dude, I forgot about that. You just took me back. Like
it reminded me how much I love autosave.
Yes. Or just being able to hit start.
Yes.
Like being able to save where that's my one gripe with Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
I love 10. There's the save spheres everywhere. But I think one cool thing about it though is it was more than that. It was also like a health sphere because all your it was like going to like the Pokemon clinic and getting cleansed.
But as of I've also been playing WWE 2K19.
I've also been playing that. What are your impressions so far? I know we talked a little bit before this, but
I like it. I've played.
It feels exactly the same as last year. Oh, it looks better though. It looks really good.
So the thing is, I didn't play 18. I played 17.
18 was terrible, I thought. Well, at least the story mode was. The career mode was awful.
I just walked into 19, just kind of, okay, I remember this is how that worked on 17, and it's the exact same controls is what I remember.
It has been for years.
And which is fine.
Other than small
yeah.
small things.
I like the story mode.
I heard that's actually really good this year.
I haven't beaten it yet, just because for whatever reason I find it incredibly difficult.
I have also heard that. I also heard that are you talking about the Daniel Bryan mode or the career mode?
The career mode.
Because I've heard both, but I heard both are very good, like story wise, very good.
Yeah. I've gotten through a good portion of the Daniel Bryan one.
It's a pain in the ass because you have to hit certain marks, and so a match that was only 6 minutes turns into a half hour.
If you screw up one, you have to start over.
Yeah, there's some old ones like that.
I've been doing fine, except I am at when Daniel Bryan wrestles John Cena for the WWE Championship at like SummerSlam.
That's SummerSlam.
And Triple H is the referee.
That's SummerSlam. Because then Randy Orton comes out right after and cashes the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Sad.
I
I know that.
I've only done it once, but John Cena is the first guy that I've played against doing the Daniel Bryan story that has given me serious problems.
Dude, John Cena.
He does his stupid John Cena.
Oh, wait, hold on. Did you watch? Even though I don't want to give him the credit for it, because I don't. Did you watch Crown Jewel?
It depends on what match.
Because Shane's the best in the world.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what's funny is he entered the match, and I'm like, there's never not a way to make this about the McMahons. Like, WrestleMania 2000 was like that. It wasn't about the 4 wrestlers. It wasn't about Rock, Big Show, Triple H, and Mick. It was about the McMahons.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch it. I haven't watched that part myself.
Video games.
But I was, 30 seconds. I was at Mom and Dad's place on Friday.
Yeah.
So I drove Shy home.
The girls told me.
And Becca was watching it. And so while I was there for maybe an hour. So a good, like, 3 or 4 matches were.
Yeah.
And so I saw who was in the finals. I was like, oh, well, that's half the pay-per-view right there. And then I see what happened with Miz and Shane came in, and I was like,
that's the end of it. Oh, no, there's the
and so
DX.
I didn't see the DX match.
Actually, I didn't finish that match because I want to start playing video games. So
yeah, video games.
I know what happens, but
video games.
That's so dumb.
So right now I'm currently playing Assassin's Creed 2.
God, dude,
trophies.
That's so dumb.
I currently have 30%.
Assassin's Creed 1 just became available because of Games with Gold.
Oh, so mad.
There's a part of me that's rolling my eyes. I'm like, okay, maybe I should give it a shot again since it's been like 10 years.
I bought Assassin's Creed during the summer because it was 50% off on Xbox.
So what?
And now it's free.
Dude, don't be a baby. Dude, you know what that just means? That just means that $5, which is probably going to go to the Xbox. Those developers need money, man. Dude, we're having developers close left and right. Give them your money, jerk.
To be fair, I only paid like $7 for it.
See? So you're not even paying the $60 like when it came out, and you're whining. But you played it when it came out, right? Assassin's 1? So they got your money like 3 times then.
Yep.
Everybody, you can't buy the same game once anymore. You have, who's the king of this is Nintendo. Game came out on NES. Oh, Mario Brothers. We know you traded in your NES to GameStop or Babbage's, whatever it's called then, and then oh, you want to play. You have some nostalgia. You want to play that game again? Okay, here's Super Mario All-Stars with all the same games again. Oh, by the way, that's another $60. And then another generation. Here we are, the next gen. Oh, it doesn't really work that way for N64. But we have this new nifty thing called the Game Boy Advance. It's just like the last console. You want the same games again? That's $40. For those games, unless you want to buy them all individually for $10. And then what do we have after that? What was after N64? GameCube. So we skipped that one, unless you want to talk about it being like Zelda, because then they just did it again with Zelda.
Yep.
And then the Virtual Console came out for Wii. Then it happened again for Wii U. And here's the crap part about that: same ecosystem. It was the Wii Store, but it was console to console.
Yep.
So if you actually owned 2 separate Wiis, none of those games transferred over. You had to buy them again. So even from Wii to Wii U, it didn't work. And now Wii U Store is closing down in January. Not only going to lose that ecosystem if you don't have it downloaded, from what I know, if you want to play the retro games, you actually have to go retro, or you have to get the subscription model and hope for Switch and hope that your game that you want to play hits the platform. The good thing about the new version, at least, is the games have been up-resed, which is nice. And if they had multiplayer capabilities, you can play them multiplayer. It can only be with people that are in your friends list, but I think that is a cool feature. The fact that you can play Super Mario Brothers like 3.
Nintendo's stupid.
Yeah, and I didn't mean for that to turn into a rant about Nintendo, but
that was our first bro rant.
Yeah, but yeah, I've also been playing WWE 2K19. I literally just started playing it last night or yesterday. It was what we were talking about before we got started. It's literally feels the same way, just a little bit more polished from last year. I couldn't figure out online. This is why I didn't get it from launch. Is all the demos that they were showing prior to launch, all had general manager mode in it. That was taken out. It's not in there.
Really?
Yeah. There's screenshots from 2K with general manager mode, and that's what I wanted. Give me GM mode again.
Maybe it'll be a DLC.
I'll pay for it. Don't even make it a part of the season pass. I will pay for it. Just give it to me. Why is this hard? I don't want this stupid, bland universe mode. No, give me something that reacts against me.
Universe mode is pretty boring. I set it up.
I like the creation about it, but like, man, dude, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm always having to go in and like fix it behind me. Like in 2000 SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 and 8, dude, worked exactly how I wanted.
Yep.
I like 7 better because it's just the 2 brands, but even between the 3 brands, it just made it a little bit harder because you were spread thinner because there wasn't a bigger roster. But still, like it.
Yep.
Dude, it was great. I don't understand why that's a thing. But
all right, so you've also been playing something else.
I'm always playing Pokemon Blue. I won't get. I've been slowing down on it because
I need to play it. I want to
play Let's Go.
Yeah.
So, and I'm getting more excited, dude. I see those stupid commercials, and we'll get in that too. But the first thing we want to get into is Fallout 76. I have been playing Fallout 76.
The beta's open?
Yeah, beta's open. So the beta is not an everyday thing.
Oh.
I haven't made all the, and it's not every day. So it's selective time. So like today, it should be live pretty soon.
Oh.
I think it's from 2 to 9 o'clock Eastern today, which by the time you guys are watching, you guys will have missed it.
I'm surprised you're even here right now.
So this is where I want to get into. So as you know, Fallout is my favorite franchise.
Yes.
I will say Fallout 76 so far, out of all the Bethesda Fallouts, because and nothing against Interplay, all the Fallouts prior to this, great story, but I don't like the third-person isometrical gameplay.
It's not
as
your
much.
kind of, yeah.
It's not me. I don't think they were bad, but it's not my type of game. 76 to me is the worst Bethesda Fallout I've played. Yes, but
I was not expecting that.
I don't. It's not making me happy, but it's also not making me disappointed.
Good. So, explain.
So, it's definitely set up as an online game. Even though you can play it alone, and I've for the most part been playing alone. I kind of found some people yesterday, and I kind of was teaming up with them. I'm pretty sure they were all like 12 or 14, which the game's rated M for mature. They were definitely not mature.
Parents.
I have to say it was really funny being on there with them. So it made me laugh. So
were they talking? Like
yes,
could you
too much at one point? So we went on this mission to where we had to find the mayor of this town, and it ended up being like this robot console. And so like you activate your conversation with the console, and it starts trying to have a conversation with you. I literally had to be like, "Hey guys, stop talking. I can't hear."
Is there a way you could mute them?
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So I muted everybody. And of course, people start entering the room, and they're trying to get my attention, and I'm like, focused on this thing. But the thing, and it's not, and this is where just meeting up with kind of like random people kind of can get hard because you all have like different investments.
Yeah.
So we're like, one guy already had, I didn't go there, but I guess he already had like a place set up because you can build. That's one of the big things. They want you to keep going with the building function from Fallout 4. Create your own base, and then you can kind of role play from there. He had it. I never went to it. But when I met this guy, I had too many rads, and I was overweight. And that when you're overweight, you don't walk slower like you do in 3 through 4. But what happens is a lot of things are based off your AP. So your AP as you're walking like slows way down, and then once it hits 0, then you start like kind of like slowly chugging, and then it'll start climbing back up, and then you can walk normal again. At least that gives you, and that's really important, because here's the thing: when enemies come at you, there's not just one.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like 3. So where like if you were to like go into like, let's say, a metro tunnel in like Fallout 3, New Vegas, or 4, you go into a metro tunnel and you run into some ghouls. Usually they're in like camps of like 1 to 3. So you have 1 to 3, and then maybe down the tunnel there's another 1 to 3.
Yeah.
You know, very rarely are you finding like a big group. And here, dude, there was once I was coming down from a mountainside, and I was passing over a highway, and I look over, and luckily I had enough like room to like get out of there. I look over, there's like 10 ghouls, and they're all like eating something, and like one turns, and I'm like, out, you know, like I had to get out of there. And so
that's like something out of a movie,
dude. But it's not cool. Like and when you start bare bones. And it's like playing survival mode, like in like New Vegas and 4. So you have to monitor your eating. You have to monitor your liquids. Yeah, and which is fine. That's not bad. Where that becomes bad is a lot of things that you're picking up are irradiated.
Yeah.
So you're eating it, and then your radiation happens, and dude, before you know it, half your health bar is radiation.
So maybe they're just trying to make it more lifelike.
They are. No, most definitely. And they're trying to make you think more outside the box. But the problem is the way I have been playing Fallout for years is not this way. And so now, I will say, not to just beat it down. On a more positive note, the world's awesome. There's no people in the game. There's no NPCs. 0. Like conversational NPCs. To where you walk up to, you know, you walk into like a saloon, and there's a guy at the bar. Because you think about it, this is the first vault that's opened. Yeah. So any humans that are now in the world are only from this vault. Yeah. Everybody else is going to be a ghoul or some sort of creature. There's no people. So in kind of like place of like raiders, there's this new breed called the Scorched, or Scorchers, or something like that. Okay. And they're like these like burn victims that have like lost their mind almost, but they're not ghouls. But dude, they're nasty. Like they'll hide and they'll hunt you.
What?
Yeah. So like, now here's a crazy thing too, is everything's so limited. Like your ammunition, guns, and a lot of the guns that you find up front are just awful guns. You have to like, crafting is a big thing in this game. The crafting's cool, but everything's so scarce that you have to be like, that's where like being with a team of people helps. I realized this the other day, is that one of the guys was like, oh man, my hunting rifle is like starting to like, it gets damaged like in Fallout 3. Yeah. And he was like, does anybody have any adhesive to kind of like help repair my gun? And I'm like, oh, I've got some here, and I dropped it in front of him, and then he picked it up. And then I think a little later, like he needed the stem pack, and then I need the stem pack again. So like we're consistently
like helping each other.
Yeah, and like that, like the camaraderie, I think is really cool. I can't wait to have Pete's gonna play it with me when we get going. Hopefully you can too if we get your Xbox back up and running. But that's a different. But it's I don't know. I'm torn on it. Like the perk system is all card based, which is kind of cool. Like a lot of online games do. So you actually have all your specials, and then you have cards, and you have action points to lay down cards. So it almost feels like Pokemon or Magic, almost in that sense, laying down cards. Yeah. There's a weapon wheel, which I like and don't like. I like that you can select favorites on this weapon wheel. And then I just found yesterday, which is, I feel stupid, there's a fast action where you can go back to your last weapon. So if I run out of bullets and there's all these things coming at me, I can go back to my last. The problem with that is if that also runs out of ammunition or breaks, then I have to pull up the wheel.
And time doesn't stop.
No.
Yeah.
Even in VATS, time doesn't stop.
No.
VATS is actually really good. VATS is like auto aim.
Okay.
It's really cool. So VATS, like, if your enemy is like here to the left where that microphone is, I know you guys can't see it, but it's literally, it's adjacent.
You see that thing
it's
off
adjacent
camera?
to me. It's right there. So like, if my gun pulled out is here and the Scorcher or whatever creature's over here, I hit my VAT button, it goes, and I highlight, and then I can use my right stick to pick where I want to shoot, but they're still moving.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't feel bad. It actually feels really good. I was actually really shocked because reading about it before the beta started, I was like, oh, I'm going to hate that.
Well, the way you described it doesn't make it sound too bad.
Yeah, because they're not going to call it auto aim because it's not auto aim.
Of course
it's
not.
VATS.
It's VATS. Yeah.
It's role playing.
It's taken VATS from a I don't want to call it turn-based, but
no, it was turn-based.
It's from a turn-based kind of play to a
live action.
Yeah, live action. Yeah.
So I would say overall, and you haven't played it at all, right?
I've not.
No. I think it's definitely worth playing if you're a Fallout fan. I still like it. There's just a huge learning curve. To where I think if you're somebody who plays a lot of online games, like Elder Scrolls Online or anything else,
it'll be a less steep of a learning curve.
I believe so. Yeah. I really feel, because there was when I was talking to a few buddies about it.
I'll have to get it. It comes out
November 14th.
Yeah.
So, and I'm actually gonna take some time off to play it too, because it's Fallout. I have to. I'm excited for it.
So you always do.
But, yeah. And once again, I'm excited. I even ordered the Power Armor edition, so I bought the wearable helmet.
Are you gonna wear the helmet while you play?
Not while I play now.
Oh.
I will wear it
just
at some
while you
point.
eat dinner.
Naked eating Cheetos. But the hand goes up underneath my helmet. So, but that's all. That's now. Did you, before we move on, did you have any questions for me about
Fallout?
Yeah.
Nope.
Like being a Fallout fan.
Nope.
Yourself. Have you played New Vegas by any chance? I meant to ask you
I
that.
have not.
You should play that.
I want to. I will.
You really should.
I will. I took a break from playing Fallout 3 to play other things.
Oh, you know what's something? And this came out, I think, actually after our last episode. So Obsidian.
Okay.
The developer who's did Fallout New Vegas, that did KOTOR 2, so Knights of the Republic 2, which is also notably a really good game. And we're formerly Black Isles, so that's like Fallout 2. And their most recent game, I think, is like Pillars of Eternity, which is their own like crowdfunded game. But
okay. I
mean, they make wonderful games, wonderful role-playing games. Have almost like gone under like several times. It hasn't, from what I know, it hasn't officially happened yet, but Microsoft is apparently trying to buy them.
Oh.
Because Microsoft's on this thing of like, we're just buying up every studio on site because we're going to be next gen for Xbox is going to be awesome. I really think it is. And I'm really happy for them. I hope everybody continues to do well. But the things I think of is like, so when they have a bigger studio giving them money, like Lucas / like EA BioWare when they did KOTOR, when they did Fallout, they were getting money from Bethesda. They even helped with Fallout 4, even though that wasn't their game, but they helped with it. Do they make big games? They make great games. What are they going to do when somebody says, here's Microsoft money, have at it? Like Pillars of Eternity is a good game, but it's like Diablo, you know, and you can tell it's a smaller budget game because they didn't have the money, the Bethesda money. But dude, when you have Microsoft money, and that you can make a game on that scale, and it's not going to happen. I would like to see another Knights of the Republic. It's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah, they'd have to.
They'd be like, you have one. It's Knights of the Republic Online, and it's like, go die.
Yeah.
No.
And say they'd have to get the okay from.
It's not going to happen.
From
EA has a license. Whatever. Forget EA. I unpre-ordered Battlefield because things just keep happening at EA. I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait.
I have it.
The pre-order for Battlefield 5.
Oh, Battlefield. Whoop. Sorry. Nope.
But you're thinking Battlefront.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So a rumor. It looks like it's come out. Let me see. Reference the website here. Looks like mcv.uk.com has put out an article about the leading director. I'm not Masuda. It's probably like Masuda-san. Potentially could be leaving the Pokemon franchise after Pokemon Go. I know a little bit about him, even briefly looking at this article. He came in. He was not the lead director. I think he was like just under that for Gold and Silver. So he's not the original, but like he's come in since then.
Yeah.
And he's been there ever since, making the core, like the Game Freak Pokemon games. Sure. And he's made them like a ton of money. Let me see. Oh, these stats are. I'm sorry. I was going to say I thought I had stats on how much money he made, but this is Pokemon Go. Apparently, the Pokemon Go company has made at this point $145.6 million. Yikes! That's a lot of cash. But we're not spend too long on this, but I don't think we actually know like a ton about this game. But everything I see about it, I'm actually like, even the things I'm like, I don't know if I really like that. I'm still excited about it.
You're looking forward to it.
I'm actually gonna miss like the battling the Pokemon when trying to catch them, because now you just Pokemon Go them. You actually take your Joy-Con and you kind of like throw it at the TV,
really?
or you can move your or there's a way to like flick an analog stick or something like that if you're playing a Pro Controller.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I'll have to figure it out. I literally just bought another Switch 2 days ago.
What?
I need it for Pokemon.
Oh, that's right. You sold your old one.
Yeah, I sold my old one, which I got quite a bit of money for it, so I'm happy. And I was gonna pre-order the Pokemon Switch that came out. It is kind of hideous, but it's Pokemon. And then like I blinked and they all sold out. And so I got the Super Smash Brothers collectors, which I think looks so much better. It looks awesome.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to play Let's Go until I've played more other Pokemon games.
You know what I like about this? I like that it's in a what is? Oh my god, I just forgot what it's called. Kanto?
Yeah.
I like that it's back in the original land. And then
Wait, is it just the original Pokemon?
So from what I know, it's 151. And then there's a new Pokemon. It's like this little metal dude. So it's like 790 something.
Okay.
And then all the Mega Evolutions are there too, for the Pokemon that have that. So like Gengar, Blastoise, Charizard, I think all have their.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking that correctly, because I'm not as caught up on the Mega Evolution Pokemon and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'd also have to buy a Switch, and I don't want to buy a Switch for just one game.
I don't know, man. I think it's worth it. I really want to play Pokemon. And actually, like I said, even like the throw in the Pokeballs, like I would rather fight them, but I still like the idea of like I'm catching them, you know, like and I want something that way I don't burn myself out on Fallout also, because it comes out 2 days after Fallout.
Oh, does
so
it?
I can kind of like that can be like my portable game.
So I just talking to you, I probably will get Fallout 76, but
come on. Dude, we're gonna create a faction. There's the reason I asked you about New Vegas is I was joking around with my buddy Pete, who's a huge Fallout fan. He got me into Fallout. we were joking that we were gonna create a faction. We're called Caesar's Legion, which is like this murdering like faction in New Vegas. And so we're gonna make this camp, and then like big neon letters, Caesar Legion.
Jeez.
And I'll sit there just with my bald head. And just, what do you want?
I'll get it. I'll just have to look at what I'll have to look and see if I want like the standard edition or if there's like a deluxe or something.
I was literally having the same exact conversation with him last night too, or yesterday, because the tricentennial version, you do get some things with it, but it's nothing that seems.
Yeah, because I already dropped a lot of money on 2K19.
Yeah, $90 for the same game as last year. Did you get the deluxe?
I did.
I did too.
Well,
I always get the deluxe.
I
can have Ray.
I didn't pre-order. So if I wanted Rey Mysterio and Ronda Rousey, I had to get the deluxe edition.
Or wait till the very end.
Or wait.
And then still pay $10 for them.
Yeah.
I've done that.
But with the deluxe you also get like characters from the Woo edition.
Oh yeah, you
Ric
get like
Flair
Nash, Flair, yeah.
So, but I still have my 20% off thing at Best Buy, so I only had to pay $70.
Mine just ran out. It's gone.
Mine's good for like another year and a half.
I hate you so much.
I renewed it like right as it ended, without knowing that it was ending.
Dude, I didn't know, and one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, man, good thing you got this for a few more months." I was like, "Yeah, I'll just renew it, whatever." Thinking like he was trying to like upsell me, and he's like, "Oh no, we're not doing this anymore." And I was like, "What?" That's the only reason I shop at Best Buy.
Yep.
Like literally, dude. Like I have no initiative. That was the only thing keeping me buying physical, and the only reason I even got it physical the other day, the WB instead of going digital, is just where I'm living is the internet's so bad there. Is I knew that if I just bought it physical, I really wanted to play the game this weekend.
Yeah.
So I knew if I bought it physical, like the disc would help speed up the download time, and it did.
Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do when my 20% runs out. I mean, I get 5% off at Target, but that's like $3.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. Just buy, dude. It's actually for the most part, dude. It's actually cheaper to just wait and just buy digital.
Yeah.
And actually, here's what's even funny too, because I have really poor internet. 76 actually works pretty well for me online, which I'm shocked. Because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to use my phone internet, and like, I might have to like upgrade my plan to make sure I have enough like hotspot time and stuff. It's fine. A few here and there, a few little mess ups, but
okay.
Something else that's coming out this year that I think was expected and unexpected is the PlayStation Classic, which I don't think personally. I don't think a lot of people have been asking for this. I don't know if this has the same nostalgia that like I think NES and Super NES does for people. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the class. I don't think they're bad. I think if you're a person that like maybe you don't really play games anymore, but you did as a kid, and you see it and you're like, oh man, I love Super Nintendo.
Maybe that's what they're advertising towards.
I think that's who it should be for, personally, and that's why it upsets me that there's like the people who go out and buy them all and they try and sell them for like $200, and it's $50 to $100 unit originally.
I mean, now that you brought that up, that makes sense because I work with some guys who
Nintendo's back out. See that? You're like, it never went away. Have you heard of the Switch?
Like they grew up playing video games, but now they're like they're dads and they have families, so they don't really play anymore.
A lot of people just don't. Dude, I barely have time to play games, dude.
But they bought when it originally came out. They bought the Wii because they could play Mario Kart, the classic Mario.
The second you told them virtual consoles, they're like, really?
Yeah,
that's a thing.
And so there's probably guys like that are going to be the ones that want that.
Someone brought up a really good point to me because I always kind of like dog on the Wii, even though there's some actually like really good hidden gems on the Wii. I always dog on it for not being a great console, even though it's the third best-selling console of all time, second, something like that. Well, I know we've talked about it before. Now I can't remember. I think it's
second or third. I think
it's third. But one of the things, one of the reasons it sold so well was Wii Sports, and I'm thinking like, why would anybody buy it for that? And I get why people did, but I just being a gamer, like not a casual gamer, but more active.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to wrap my brain around. And it's a fun game, but like I need something more than that. But someone made a comment to me about the controllers, that when you hand somebody an Xbox One or a DualShock 4 controller, it can seem intimidating to some people that aren't very. When you hand somebody a remote, like the Waggle, we're already used to remotes.
Feels more natural. Yeah,
it feels normal. So when you say, "Oh, there's a button here, there's a button back here," and every once in a while I gotta hit these two down here. Perfect. It has less buttons than my controller for my TV.
Yeah.
It actually made it simple. And then we are, and I thought like, man, what a great way for people who aren't gamers, like as a selling point, or like, hey, it's games. Oh, I don't like it. No. Look at it's super simple. All you move and it's a remote control. Sounds easy enough. Hell, half time you're trying to do this, trying to aim for your volume on the TV, And so I thought that was an interesting point. But with jumping back to the classic here, though, I was really scratching my head at some of these games. The games that were announced,
like why they picked them.
Yeah, like so Battle Arena Toshinjin, I think that's how you pronounce that.
Never played it.
That game was made. I forget who makes that game, but that game I remember being made to be a competitor for Virtua Fighter on Sega and Saturn. Yeah. Cool Borders 2, which not my game, and it makes sense. I know a lot of people said, why Destruction Derby? I've actually played this game.
It's fun.
And it's terrible and wonderful at the same time. Like, this was, for whatever reason, this was free, I think, on an early PlayStation Plus game, like for PS3. And I remember just thinking, like, oh, whatever, I'll download and play it, whatever, just to kill time, And it's actually not terrible. It's not great by any means, but like, I see this and I think like a classic console should be like definitive games.
Yeah,
I understand some games you can't get because of like licensing issues, but like why this game? But Final Fantasy VII, which makes sense, from what I remember, is a launch title, and it's a game that really, for RPGs, really said this is now how RPGs are done. Grand Theft Auto, and it's 1, and it's top down versus like 3. 3 was the first one that was in third person. I think this also makes sense, just for the legacy. Intelligent Cube. I think it's just a puzzle game. I don't know about it. Jumping Flash makes sense, even though I don't think it's a great game. Jumping Flash is the first 3D platformer. It was a launch title. Yeah. And it was that thing that, even though Crash came out, I think like 3 or 4 months later, which is really what we think of for 3D platformers, but this paved the way for that.
Yeah.
Even though they're probably being developed at the same time. Metal Gear Solid, which is a great game. Mr. Driller, another like puzzle game. Oddworld Apes Odyssey, I think, makes sense to be on the console. Oddworld was always, for at least a while, was always like a Sony kind of patriarch. Rayman, which I think the Rayman games are actually really great, but I don't know if, like, I always think, when I think Rayman, and I think older Raymans, I think Rayman 3. So I don't know why, unless it was just like the first one in the series. But to jump ahead real quick, we have Tekken 3 and not Tekken 1, which were both PS1 games. But Tekken 3 is the most popular Tekken on PS1.
Maybe that's why they chose
Maybe. Resident Evil Director's Cut, which is another head scratcher because the controllers that come with, you get 2 controllers with this console. And when the PS1 originally launched, it launched without analogs.
Yes.
So it's actually the PlayStation 1 controller. Then there's actually like this weird like boomerang looking kind of controller, actually. And then the DualShock came out. I forget what that in-between one's called. It's real stupid. But like and this was one of the first games to really that, and I believe Metal Gear also, to really support that. You can play without it, but the Director's Cut edition Resident Evil, the big thing is, I remember it would say director's cut, and the zombie would be like on the cover.
Yeah.
And right underneath it would say DualShock, like DualShock or something of that nature.
No, I remember that.
Revelations Persona, which I think it's awesome. I think all the Persona games are great. The one thing I will say is this Persona really is very different from all the other. From 2 on, kind of has more of the same feeling. 1 doesn't, but it's still a good RPG. There's a lot of in some of the more newer Personas. There's some throwbacks to this.
Yeah.
And then I like even the picture here is that what's the guy's name, Igor or whatever,
Yep.
the Ego Store, which is in all of them.
Oh yeah.
Ridge Racer doesn't even need to be. Ridge Racer is, even though it's come out on other platforms, like that is a Sony game, especially that PS3 Cat's-Eye Ridge Racer. Super Puzzle Fighter 2, the Street Fighter, which I know you feel is Street Fighter, so we won't get into that.
But it's a puzzle game.
Yeah, but it's actually a very notable puzzle game. So that makes sense. Siphon Filter very much makes sense.
Actually,
I'm happy that's on there. Siphon Filter's awesome. That's why I'm excited for Days Gone, dude. That's Sony Bend.
Yeah.
Dude, they make great games. They made Uncharted on Golden Abyss on Vita.
That
is a great. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, anytime you're just like, well, who's Sony Bend? You start naming the games. You're like, oh, they make great games. Who are they?
So, real quick on the Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
I like our last podcast. She was like Super Ultra Turbo 2 Turbo Fight Street.
You know what it reminds me of? On one of the Mortal Kombats, I think it's Armageddon, they had different like little mini games. There's like go-kart racing. There was a puzzle fighter, which I loved. It was great.
I never tried that. I played Armageddon very, very briefly because it reminded me of when I was younger. It was Mortal Kombat, I think, Trilogy. What it's called. Where at that time it was still a 2D based fighting, but it had everyone in the game from that point. Versus Armageddon's the same way, except it's obviously a 3D fighter, but it was everyone that had ever been in a game at that point.
I loved Armageddon. That is probably my favorite Mortal Kombat.
It's a good one. I didn't get when it came out. I was working at GameStop. I remember they allowed us to. I don't know if they still do, but they allowed employees to rent games, and that was the first game I rented. I remember it was either that or Gears, and like Gears had just come out. They're like, we'd prefer you to not take Gears home because somebody's probably gonna buy it. You know, I'm like, I'll just take this. Nobody's gonna care about this.
Yeah.
And nobody did. So Tekken 3 we already said, which is I should be on there. It's a classic. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, which I thought to myself, like, man, the PC version of Rainbow Six 1 was really challenging. It was a great game, but I've never played it on PlayStation. I'm thinking that's probably going to be like I don't remember. I remember it being a PC game. I remember it being difficult and actually really cool. Twisted Metal, which definitely deserves to be on there.
Yep.
I know a lot of people don't talk about it, but I definitely agree with Wild Arms. Wild Arms, I think, got pushed out of the way by Final Fantasy VII, but definitely is a very meaty RPG. And I think that and 7 is going to keep, and Metal Gear are going to keep people very busy on this console. Oh, actually, Persona also. So
there's a lot of good games.
There is a lot of good games. I think half of them are really good, and the other half are kind of questionable. I don't think there's any like necessarily bad games on here, but there is games I'm just thinking like, man, where's Crash? And I'm not a Crash fan, if I'm being honest. I know it's Naughty Dog, and people roll their eyes when I say that. But like, when I think PlayStation 1, I think Crash Bandicoot. But they just released the remaster.
Yes, they did.
And it's not a Sony property anymore, because it was Naughty Dog, and then they sold it to Activision. Activision owns that.
Really?
Yes, and they own Spyro also, and that's also I was like, where's Spyro? They sold it, and there's a Spyro remaster coming.
Is there?
Yeah.
I've never played a Spyro. I've also never played a Crash.
I don't like either, if I'm being honest. The only thing I like about Spyro is the music, because Stuart Copeland from The Police, He did he's done all the games, all the music, the score.
I've considered getting the Crash
trilogy.
Nah. It's just $40.
Nah. I'll play it when it hits Xbox Gold. So there's those games. I want to read through a quick list, and so this is Metacritic's top 20 games. I think unless I just can't count the 20 correctly. So their number, and this I'm going by ratings, so not sales. How Metacritic is basically a collection of outlets scores, kind of being
averaged together.
Yeah, making the average. So Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 is number 1. Tekken 3, Gran Turismo, which I'm shocked. That's a Sony property, and that's not on that console, and I'm shocked. Final Fantasy 9, which is always gets rated better than 7, but 7's more notable because of what it did at the time.
Yeah.
Chrono Cross, Metal Gear Solid, Gran Turismo 2, Street Fighter's Alpha 3, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is another one I'm like super shocked about. Wipeout XL, Vagrant Stories, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, Final Fantasy 7, Medal of Honor, which I actually really like, Parappa the Rappa, which I'm also shocked, but they just did a remaster of that. Colonial Wars, Spyro Year of the Dragon, which will be remastered. Tomb Raider, which I'm shocked. Resident Evil, which they have a variation of it on the console, and Legacy of Kain, which is Amy Hennig, who did she wrote the Uncharted games. She's amazing, by the way. All her games. But I read that list and I'm like, every game's just like, yeah. And even if you're like, oh, that's not my game, you know it to be like someone else is doing the same thing. And so I kind of made up a little list. I made up 2 lists because I like lists of games I really liked. I don't know if you did the same thing, but here are games that are like my favorites for PS1. So we actually didn't have a PS1 growing up. We had an N64. We were more N64 kids. Now we did kind of go back and play some.
That's when we liked Nintendo.
Yeah. You know what's funny is it still wasn't that great then. It really was some of the best games that we would have liked. Like we should have had a Super Nintendo growing up.
Yeah.
Being like Final Fantasy fans and stuff like that. Like we really should have. And like Robbie being like in the Mario Kart and stuff.
But you know what? We didn't really play those till we got older.
Why am I doing all these other things when I can just play video games all day? But our journey of PlayStation 1 games came later. I know, at least enough for Kyle and I, to where we didn't get a PlayStation 2 because we actually fell out of gaming a little bit and then kind of came back when we got a PS2 for Christmas, which was like 2003, 2004, I think. And
somewhere, yeah.
I remember buying a lot of PlayStation 1 games because if we got money for like birthday or Christmas, it was so expensive to buy brand new PlayStation 2 games.
Yep.
And so I would buy a bunch of PlayStation 1 games. Here's some games that resonated with me really well. Final Fantasy Origins, which is Final Fantasy 1 and 2, I love.
Yep.
I actually think I remember it better on the GBA.
Yep.
The Dawn of Souls release. And that's kind of notable being the best one. But I like this version too because they have cool cutscenes in them, actually.
Do they have cutscenes throughout the game? Or just at the beginning and end?
I don't remember now. I just remember the really cool like dragon one at the beginning. Star Wars Dark Forces. I don't know if you know that game.
I do. I've never, because that's kind of like a Doom. Right?
Dude, it's awesome. At least I remember it being awesome, which probably means it's not.
I'm not a big fan of those kinds of games, like the Doom, kind of Doom-esque, like early Doom games.
I like them.
Can't do them.
I don't have the same like nostalgia that other people do because we weren't PC gamers growing up.
Yeah.
Other than I will say this, I remember going. We lived in Tampa, and Dad worked at a fire station in Temple Terrace. And in the station, I don't know if it was one of the officers' computers, or they just put it on a computer that was there at the station, but it had Doom on it. And I remember something like Robbie and Dad, and I think one of the other officers. They were like, yeah, you should show your kids this. And he launched it up, and we're just like, whoa. And he was like, here's a chainsaw. And it just like, so I have that memory. Like, it's just more of like a funny memory.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, we really didn't play those games.
There were 2 games I can, like, from my childhood, I remember playing on PC. One was
The Sims.
I forgot about The Sims. Yeah.
Everybody played The Sims.
Sims,
what a great game.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I really played, for whatever reason, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
I remember that.
But there's one game that I loved, and I just wish someone would create it again. It was one of the first Lego games to come out. Lego Soccer.
Oh man, I still have that disc. I have it somewhere because I remember seeing it the other day.
Love it.
It's funny you were talking about the theme park game. Sims Theme Park was one of them. And sometimes I actually saw, I was looking through a list of PlayStation games, and I think some of these I actually played on other consoles too. So Final Fantasy VIII is another one. Dino Crisis.
Which I haven't played.
I've played front to back.
Like
and
it.
I know, once again, a lot of these games we played on PlayStation 2, or I played a lot of these games on Vita.
Yeah.
A lot of these games on Vita. It was like my PS1 like RPG machine, like for a long time. And that's where I played Dino Crisis, and I love it.
I'm sorry, but a lot of the games that are going to be on like the classic console coming out, the ones I want to play, I can play on either the Vita or.
That's how I feel about the NES Classic.
Yeah.
I play all those games on my 3DS, or I can turn to my Wii U and play them there, and it'll give me a reason to.
But I mean, like you said, maybe they're just trying to advertise towards people.
I think they are.
Yeah.
What else do I got? Final Fantasy Tactics, which I really like. Silent Hill, which I love. SimCity 2000, which I remember playing in elementary school on like those I don't even remember those all-in-one like Macs, and they would really push you on like the colors. It was so dumb. Those were bad. That's when Macs were like really weren't that great. Like 80s Macs, like the Apple II are amazing, and then like current like 2000 up. Also, Mac was like let's hit let's scratch everything we have and let's do it. And now that they have a really good OS. Yeah, Silent Hill, SimCity 2000, which I actually remember playing on Saturn also. Medal of Honor, Resident Evil, which is also in Final Fantasy 7.
Yep.
Did you have any games that you kind of want to shout out?
That's already been said.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna, before we wrap up here, I want to give a quick shout out to games that I feel like should have been mentioned for the classic, but weren't. So it's a lengthy list, and I'm not saying they all should have been on, but these are games that I didn't play that I think of when I think of PlayStation. So Suikoden.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was Konami's.
So I've played a few of those.
I've always wanted to, because I know Suikoden 2 and 3 are supposed to be like almost like old school, like must play RPGs. Legend of Dragoon, Darkstalkers, Chrono Cross, Street Fighter's Alpha.
Chrono Cross is good.
Yeah. Street Fighter Alpha, Tekken, Legend of Mana. This is one I've always wanted to play, just for whatever reason never have. Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
Vagrant Stories, which is another big Xenogears. Harvest Moon: Back to Nature. Kingdom Fighters 95. Warhawk, which is a Sony title. Spyro the Dragon. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Crash. Medieval, which I know Medieval, why it's not on there. It's because there's the remaster that was just they literally just released a trailer for it. Hot Shots Golf, or Everybody's Golf if you're in another country, which is now Everybody's Golf, and it's been Everybody's Golf in other countries. And Breath of Fire 3 specifically because 1 and 2 were on Super Nintendo, and 3 and 4 were on Sony. And I just think once again, there's not bad games, and I understand there's licensing issues, and some of these studios aren't even open anymore. So it's hard to get to who owns that and get the license for them. So, but either way, is this something you think you'll buy December 3rd, a pre-order? I'm going to say no.
No.
So there is one caveat to this. So before we wrap up, where I would buy it, and I would have bought any of these classics if they have flash memory and an online store.
Yes.
And trophies.
Well, I mean, that's where I'm also torn. Just because, yes, I can play
I want
a lot of these games
I want it to just
already,
sit there and look beautiful.
but I think all the games that are on it that I want to play, I already own.
Yep. And you know what the one perk is though?
What?
Is that you can turn it on and it doesn't ask you for an update. Golly. Either way, I think, man, this has been good though. Fallout, Pokemon. Man, we got so many games. People playing Red Dead, which I know we're not playing Red Dead. For you guys who watched the last episode, Robbie's playing Red Dead and he's loving it. He couldn't make it with us this week.
Yeah,
but,
I ran into Robbie. Yeah, that's
you guys are going to the same gym and stuff.
Yeah. Ran into him, and he told me that he absolutely loves it.
Did you hear the thing about not this is a great way to end our show, but about the ball thing, the scrotum thing?
Someone told me about that. I don't remember who it was.
Horse scrotums have their own engine, and they adjust. Apparently
to the weather.
To the weather and the heat, and what a thing to develop and put money into. But you know what? I'm going to leave it at that.
Hey,
you can watch all the videos you want on that.
Just think, though, that was somebody's job. Someone had to go to work every day and make sure.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not trying to design any creatures. Look, that's a sore subject. I have testicular cancer. I don't want to talk about it.
They had to decide how much they'd shrink by.
Good God. Well, hey, everybody. This has been Super Gamecast Bros for 11/4. I keep forgetting the date, so I got to look at my paper. 11/4/2018. Remember, once again, if you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/superbros. You can get this episode early for $1. Like us on Facebook. Send us an email at gamecast@superbros.org. You can also be a supporter like Andrew Bollet, who we like to give a shout out to for the tier that he's at on Patreon.
Definitely.
And like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. And hopefully we're going to, once again, I'm kind of getting over the hill on this cancer thing, to bring it up again. But the more over the hill I get, the more content you get. And the more you support us, the more content you'll get too. So that's episode officially 3, I believe now.
I think so,
Gamecast
yes.
Bros. And thank you for being super.